Good morning, friends. And happy Halloween. It is really good to be here today. This has always been my favorite of the holidays, for sure. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons for that, and I'm sure most of them revolve around bags of endless candy and gore and scary movies and all of that. And I think that the way that I was raised with Halloween was there was always an openness to it. Even if it was a fear around the devil in the 80s, I was raised in a Christian home, a very Pentecostal home, and there were a lot of things that we could not do. You know, we could not watch the Smurfs. We couldn't. We couldn't have certain music. There were times when we weren't allowed to watch entire TV stations like MTV or all these things. But one thing that I could always do is I could always participate in Halloween. And I always loved dressing up, putting on the costume. The gorier, the better. And I loved walking around with my parents and then later with all of my friends. And the streets were filled with it's this vibrant feeling, you know, all these generations out walking around. You had little kids and teenagers and parents and elders. And everybody was playing along. That was always the magic of it. Everybody was playing along. And it gave me this feeling, and it still does, that just beyond the daily veneer, there is a shared understanding of magic. There's a shared understanding of what happens when we stop insisting on what we know and we just play with what could be. I think that's where a lot of the magic in Halloween lies for me. And of course, the entire premise of the day is built upon death. It's built upon our dead ancestors, our dead relatives, our dead neighbors. And it's the one time a year when it's perfectly acceptable to think about death in this way. And I love it. Because there's something about playing with the fear aspect of it that actually makes it okay. It makes it not really scary. and the acknowledgement of death being all of our promise, every one of us. And that there's this holiday, this time of year when that death may become a little closer, a little more near and dear to our daily existence. And when we can step out of what we insist that we know and we can play with the possibilities, I think that's pretty magical. So for me, it doesn't get much better than a good Halloween celebration. A proper mix of reverent ceremony and irreverent life in the face of death, all of it sort of colliding into this one mishmash of make believe. So whatever you are doing today, wherever you are in the world, maybe we could bring that energy into our practice for today. Just that space of recognition that it's okay to bring death to the table. And it's okay to put on whatever costume it is that you want to wear, whether it's on your body or in your mind. And there's these elements to some of this celebrations from this time of year. Samhain in the Celtic regions, Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. There's elements to these recognitions of our dead that not only invite us to participate in the conversation, in the dance, in the celebration, but actually require us to. That it's our duty to do this to maintain a level of understanding between the worlds. In some cultural celebrations, there's a thing called the beating of the bounds, where all of the people of the village dress in these terrifying costumes as demons and whatever it is they can conjure up to become as scary as they can. And then they all together bring their instruments and their pots and their pans and their noisemakers, and they all march together all around the outskirts, the boundaries of the village, and make as much noise and celebration as possible to frighten away all of the evil spirits that may come into the village, and let them know that this is the safe space. And keeping this level of relationship with the unknown, right? And then in other cultural understandings, you go and you create a feast, and you sit at cemeteries and burial places and altars, and you feast with the dead. And you bring all of the favorite things that your dead loved, their favorite drink or their favorite candies, their favorite meal, whatever it may be. And you dress in vibrant colors, and you celebrate death in this way to maintain the relationship of the passing on of the energies and the lessons and the love. So all of these different manifestations of these ceremonies to keep relationship with the unknown, with the mystery. That to me, that making believe. And that's not meant to be a diminutive. We're not diminishing or taking something small out of it and reducing it. This isn't reductive. To say make believe means to be a part of active creation. We are making something so that we can believe in it. And we do that together. And we do it every day. We do it about so many mundane things. We invent ideas like money, and we put locks on the food. And we invent reasons to drop bombs on children, and we come up with all sorts of excuses as to who can sleep where and when and why and how. We even make believe reasons why some people can share love and others cannot, or that some people have to wear certain clothing and others cannot. We make believe all of the time. At least with this day and this celebration and this holiday and this time of year, we're all in on it together. Because death is the promise. We're all going there. Some sooner than others, but time doesn't really matter at that point. It's pretty irrelevant. Time is the only currency of death. And at some point, it's time to join the celebration. So in our practice today, let's bring that level of reverent joy to our death. So if you'd like, you can join me as we find our meditation posture. So our meditation posture is not going to look the same for each of our bodies, but it's the same idea. And that idea is that we're finding that place of balance. Finding that place with the least amount of stress or strain as we move our bodies to settle into a place of stillness that invites and facilitates the breath. All of this practice is dedication to the breath. This is our devotion today. So if you're seated as I am on the floor, on a mat or a pillow or a rug, you might want to put a small pillow underneath your bum to help lift the body and the hips above the knees, allowing for a more natural position of straightening of the spine. Letting the shoulders relax and bringing the shoulder blades together slightly in the back, palms upward on our lap. Opening the chest and opening the heart. Take a breath in to the body and release. Bring your focus of your attention to your breath. How does the body feel when it breathes in and out? Is there tightness or a stuck place in the body? Let's begin by slightly adjusting the breath. Breathing in through the nose gently, and all the way down to the bottom of the belly. And when we breathe in, we want the belly to rise and fall. If you can picture your belly, your body, as a devotee falling and rising at the altar of life. Or like the ocean swelling like it's going to burst right at the seams. Breathing in and out. Feel this out breath as you empty the body. Breathing in and out through the nose. Feel the energy of life increase as you breathe in. And feel the tiny slice of death as you breathe out. This feeling of letting go. Yeah, the word breath in Latin is spiritus. It's where we derive the word spirit from. So to breathe in is inspiration. To breathe out is to expire. The first thing we do when we capture life as we are born into the world is to take a deep breath in. And it's followed by our final act on our way out, is to give that breath back. Feel now as you participate in this entire cycle of life in just one series of breath. Your breath is an unceasing connection to all that lives and all that dies. The breath that we breathe right now is the breath that was taken in and given back by every person that ever came before us. And the breath that we breathe out right now will be breathed in one day by every person who comes after. There's an unbroken lineage. all the way from the beginning of everything to the end of everything. We are breathing. As you breathe in, bring some of your awareness to a loved one who has gone forward in the journey. Picture yourself at the table, and the table stretches as far as you can believe, filled with all of the loved ones who's ever conspired to make you right now. You are their make-believe right now. We are just a small part of this eternal breathing. Like a link in a chain. We are eternally connected. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring your focus out of your head and into your body. Feel the breath as it moves into the bottom of your belly. Feel as the breath moves into your heart. And as you release, feel as the energy pulses through your body. And when you're ready, before you open the eyes, just slowly bring your palms together. And I whisper right into this open hand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Warming the hands. And when your palms are nice and warm, gently place them over your closed eyes. Slowly bringing the hands down the face. Thank you for joining today on the journey home. And happy Halloween, everyone. Whatever your traditions are, whatever your belief system is, at least today, on this day, you can join in and play along. There's no harm in recognizing that we are the product of death and dying, and we give life to this memory. And soon we will join the chorus. So for right now, in this moment, just giving thanks to be a part of this story. That's good enough for me. Hariom.